Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Emma and today I am doing a video on how to free camp around Australia. I've been meaning to do this video for a while and I thought it was perfect as we've just pulled up to a beautiful free camp in New South Wales called Hickeys. It is literally probably one of our favourite ones already and we've only been here 2 hours. We are about 50 metres away from a waterfall and a swimming hole. It is flaming freezing though, so nothing like the swimming holes we've been swimming in North Australia. But aside from that, it is amazing that we can free camp here. For the last 8 months, if you've been following me, you'll probably know that we have been travelling around Australia, me and my family, and the majority of time we love to free camp because our caravan is completely off the grid, water, solar, everything, so we have no reason to plug in at a caravan park. What we have learnt while travelling is you either like to free camp or you either like to be on a powered site. There are people that travel around Australia and they just go from caravan park to caravan park or to showground, and that's fine. There are a lot of places around Australia that have kind of locked down on free camping, and I think free campers have got a bad name because a lot of them, not us, leave a mess when they go. So toilet paper, rubbish, all of that type of stuff, and it has given free campers a bad name. And also a lot of the councils have gone, I guess, in the favour of caravan parks, and to I guess boost up people going to caravan parks, they've sort of stopped all free camping in their city. So when you go through a city, the only choice you have is to stay in a caravan park. What we have found is if you are a free camper, if there are no free camps in a city, you'll just bypass it. You won't go and pay at a caravan park. When we are free camping, we try and go into the city. We normally always buy a coffee. We normally are buying fruit and veg. So even though we are not paying for a caravan park and putting money back into the community that way, we are by supporting the community and going to local cafes and buying fruit and veg. When we do have to stay at a caravan park, we normally stay in the caravan park and we don't venture out a lot because we have paid at least $45 plus to stay there. So we want to make the most and use the amenities. When we free camp, we normally park up our caravan and we're out looking around, spending money in the city. So this video is about some of the things we've learnt on how to free camp around Australia. Sorry, I've got sunglasses on, but it's just so goddamn bright that I cannot see and I don't want to be squinting. And I will show you Hickory Falls at the end of the video because it is so beautiful. So number one is to use many travel apps on your phone. Wikicamps, of course, is the most popular and there is a cost to it. But there is also Campermate, which I believe is a small cost, and then there is AirCamp, which is free. So we jump between those three when we are coming up to a town. We go on all three. Sometimes they have the same and sometimes they don't, and sometimes there are different ones. So it's definitely worth checking out all apps when you are traveling. The second thing I do is if I cannot find a free camp on any of the travel apps, I normally just Google the area we're going and free camps, and normally other people have blogged about their travels and there are articles, and normally you can literally always find somewhere where you could free camp. So that's another thing to do, and also by doing that you can get an idea of what other people have done in the area, where it's worth visiting and what's free to do around the town. So it's awesome when you go and look at other people's blogs. My third piece of advice is when you are free camping, especially at rest areas, we find go and talk to other people that are parked up, because they have normally been maybe where you're going or know the area, or normally they're Australian, so they always know where there are awesome places to stay. And generally, if you are free camping, you are normally around other free campers, so they have advice on where to stay other than caravan parks. And sometimes they do give advice on which caravan parks to stay at, which is good because sometimes it is nice to stay at a caravan park if that's your only option. Number 4 is don't be afraid to stealth camp. So if you are not a free camper, you probably have no idea what stealth camping is. I'm really sorry about all these damn flies around me. Coming inland into New South Wales, they're just everywhere in the sun. So stealth camping is when you free camp where there is not an official free camp. So say on Wikicamps and you put in your filter free camps, Those are normally official free camps. A lot of the time you can stealth camp around Australia in some areas. So for example, beaches are a big thing, some rest areas that you are not supposed to camp at, and also like on the side of the street. So that is stealth camping. So the best way to stealth camp is you need to look like you're not there in some way. So don't pull your awning out, don't set up your caravan chairs. What we do is we normally park up somewhere for the day, like the beach. We enjoy ourselves at the beach. Normally you can get a feeling if you should be camping there or not. So if you've got this bad feeling that you probably shouldn't be camping there, you should probably move. But normally if you've got this feeling that, yeah, it's all right, maybe there's other people camping there, then we generally stay. If you haven't seen any council people driving past, or if no one said anything, then it's normally all right. Most people don't dob you in if you're just quiet, clean and tidy. There are a few places we've been, for example in Byron Bay area, where they're really tough on free campers. We did stealth camp though, so haha. But we were very careful, and there was someone that came up to us when we were on the beach and said, look, the council are really hard on free campers here, so you probably should move on. And that was a sign to us that we should move on, so we did. The way we do it is, if we decide we don't want to stay where we've spent the day we normally have dinner in the spot that we've been spending the day, and then just after dinner we just kind of go for a drive around the suburbs, and we park a few streets back from where we've been, and practically we shut the curtains, turn the lights off and go to sleep as though no one is there. And then in the morning we get up straight away and we move back to a beautiful place to have breakfast. We leave no mess, no water. It's like we haven't been there. So before I move on, I do want to say, I'm not encouraging you to stealth camp, but don't be too scared. We were really scared at the start, like someone was going to come and knock on our door, but we have never ever had anyone do that. And there are always a lot of signs that say no camping. That's obviously going to scare off probably 90% of people, but people who have been free camping a while know that as long as you're in and out quickly, overnight and in the morning, then it's all right. Those signs are really there because you actually don't want people living there, which there is a lot of people that do travel around and live in these areas, so I understand why they have those signs. My next piece of advice is to use rest stops and truck stops. They do sound like they are awful, and 95% of the time we've had good experiences. We have had one experience with a bad truck stop where there were just trucks coming and going past our caravan, and literally it was boiling hot and we just couldn't sleep. But most of the time they're just really good places to sleep overnight, and they're like official, you can officially camp there, so no one's going to come and knock on your door. They also generally are next to like a service station, so there's always amenities, food and drink if you need it, sometimes a 24-hour restaurant. Sometimes they also have toilets and showers that you can pay for, so if you're not self-contained, that's a really good place to stay as well. And they're normally really basic. Sometimes they have water, sometimes they have a picnic table, and they're just really nice places to stay. A lot of people say that sometimes they are quite noisy, but as I've said in a previous video, if you get a white noise machine and have that blasting, you're not going to hear the truck noise. So yeah, don't be afraid to stay at a rest stop. They're actually really good and one of our favourite places to stay. Another piece of advice is just to be cautious about your free camp. So a lot of the free camps can sometimes be really far away from maybe where you want to be, and also sometimes they don't have internet. So when you are looking for a place to stay, check your Wikicamps or whatever app you're using, and just double check that if you need internet, that the place has internet, and also actually how far they are away. Because what we've found is sometimes it's great to have a free camp, but if you're having to spend 45 minutes to go and spend the day at the beach, sometimes it's actually not worth it. We stayed at a free camp out of Mackay late last year, and the whole time we were spending going in and out of the city because there was no internet, and it was just so far away from any amenities, and we realised that it would have just been better to stay in a caravan park or to stealth camp. So just choose your free camps wisely. If you want to be remote, then that's fine, but if you don't want to be remote, then it's probably not the best place to stay. Something else we have learnt is there are a lot of free camps have a maximum amount of nights you can stay. So normally it's 24 hours, sometimes it's 3. If you want to stay there long, there is a way around it. A lot of the free camps can be patrolled, and each morning they'll come and get your number plate. So if you want to stay longer at a free camp, what you have to do is you need to work out on the first day when the ranger comes. So that, for example, if he comes at 7:30, 8 a.m. in the morning, you need to pack up and leave and drive down the road so that when he comes you're not there, and then when he leaves you just come back in and you park up again and you get another free night. Now, we've actually never had to do that, but we know a lot of people at these free camps that want to stay there longer, and look, that's fine. When it's really busy, I would never go over the maximum amount of time, because I really don't think it's fair. Everyone wants to travel and everyone is entitled to a free camp, and if you're parking there for a week and it's only 3 days, and I just think that's completely unfair. But if it's in the quiet season and the max is say 3 days, we've stayed an extra day here or there, but generally we do stay to the maximum amount of days if it is in the busy season. The most important piece of advice I'd give you when you're free camping is leave as though you were never there. We're disgusted when we turn up at free camps and there is rubbish and toilet paper, and it's just like, what the hell are you doing? These free camps will be lost if you leave a place like that. So when we come, we just make sure we look at the spot where we're staying, and then when we leave no water, no rubbish, absolutely nothing there, as though we have never been there. And that is the only way that these free camps will be open. And it also makes it really disgusting when you come to a free camp and there is rubbish and everything around. And generally most of the time there is a rubbish bin, so I just do not understand why people have to dump their rubbish. It's just completely disgusting. So leave as though you're not there, and especially most important if you're stealth camping, absolutely leave nothing there, especially if you're parked outside someone's house. And my last piece of advice is, don't be scared when it says you have to be completely self-contained. So I'd say 90% of the caravans do not catch your grey water. So we're not really completely self-contained. When we use our taps, water has to come out somewhere. So where does it go? On the road. So when we are parked at a free camp and there's a grassy area, we normally join a hose to our hose that comes out from the caravan, and we just send it into a plant, because most of the time the plants need water. And other times when we are on a concrete or asphalt car park, we'll put out like a 25-litre bucket to catch our grey water, and we just keep an eye on it when we're using it so that it doesn't overflow, and it just makes it really clean and tidy. If you see a free camp and it says you have to be self-contained, using a bucket or something to catch your grey water is absolutely fine. Don't be scared not to stay there. And secondly, something else we've noticed is a lot of the time there are taps, but you actually can't turn them on. The council have removed the top of the tap off so that you can't use it, and I guess it's to stop people plugging in so that you've got heaps of free water. So we were given a piece of advice from someone when we were up north that you can get these things from Bunnings, and I'll take a photo of ours. But what it means is you can actually connect to the top of a tap and turn it on, which means you can practically use any tap even if the council have removed it. It has honestly been like a lifesaver when we have looked for taps and we've found out that we cannot turn one on. So it's like a little cross, and I'll put a picture in. It has been a lifesaver since we have found it. So thank you to the person who gave us that advice. So I think I will end my video there. I hope that this video has given you lots of tips about free camping around Australia, and I absolutely encourage you to free camp around Australia because it is the best way to see the country. I also hope that I've been able to give you a few hints and tips about how to stealth camp around Australia. Don't be scared. We were so scared the first time. Like I said at the beginning of the video, no one has never knocked on our door, and just leave as though you weren't there early in the morning, and you will never ever be picked up, and you can stay in the most beautifulest places that you would never be able to stay if you weren't stealth camping. So if you like this video, click the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.